Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the daily Roundup webinar. I hope everybody's having a great trading session. I was long the euro. I took a loss. Like I said earlier, shouldn't have been trading that. I really shouldn't have. Now we are at support now. I mean, obviously, if you want to be on the long side, your risk is below 117. You guys should know that. Maybe below 116.90, if that's the trade that you really want to do. I don't know if that's really the trade that really makes sense right now. As I've explained to you guys before, the dollar index, it's acted really well. It's acted really well in recent weeks and months. And so, you have a little bit of risk aversion like we have today, and you see the dollar really shining. And I think that is the risk for the dollar moving forward. I mean, you look at the Aussie, it's weak. You look at the, Kiwi, it's weak. Euro weak. Sterling is at the lows. I mean, let's just take a real quick look. Here's the euro, obviously a very key support. Sterling's trying to break through this support. We're at the 618, by the way, which I think is going to be pretty important support. That's why I'm long a little pound yen, not too far from here. This 127% extension, I think it could dip to the 618, but overall, I think look at the 4 hour and look at how oversold we are. We are probably levels we haven't seen. I don't know if I could even historically go back on this chart. The last time we were this oversold would have been back here, the end of 2000 or the beginning of 2020. So, I mean, we just don't get that oversold that often. So when you do, you have to be, aware that, there's a risk of a bounce, relative strength, bounce in these pairs. Pound yen would be an example of that. Going back to the dollar pairs, though, let's just see where we're at. So the Aussie still looks weak. I thought it would bounce already, but it hasn't. I mean, we are at the 127% extension. This was support that we marked up earlier today at 72.50. Here we are, 72.50. So if you're short Aussie dollars, this is probably a place where you have to start, going, do I really want to be on the short side? Kiwis, obviously a lot of support down here. Dollar Canadian, the dollar Canadian has not rallied as sharply as I would have expected in this environment, especially with crude oil week. Look at what crude's doing. Let's go over to crude here. You can see crude's develop. I would venture to guess this is a bear flag, sorry. The bearish wedge pattern, right? Just draw like that. That's a good way to kind of illustrate what I'm thinking. Crude looks, like I said, it looks pretty bearish here. So obviously above 68, things would turn. So I would add an alert here, because if we break through let's try it this way. Yeah, that's good. If we have, I'm going to move this down just a hair. If we break above 68, that's going to squeeze a little bit in crude. Not saying that that's going to happen, but that's something that we should be paying attention to. What else? Oh, look at the pound Aussie nearing the highs here. Euro Aussie. I mean, this is classic risk off stuff, right? Classic risk off. So just be careful. Let's talk about the S&P really quick. So the S&P has come off. We're having a discussion in the chat room about China. And, China invading Taiwan, that's on like everybody's radar right now because of, it is. And actually Leon in our chat room said, well, because of the events in Afghanistan, maybe that accelerated the timeline a little bit. It's possible. I mean, I think it's inevitable that China will invade Taiwan. I think they probably will exploit the current administration and take advantage of what they might perceive as an opportunity. So, but it's going to be one of those situations where we're going to get up in the morning and the markets are going to be gapped down dramatically. Could be tomorrow, could be months from now, who knows? But I think it is something that is a concern at some point, that, you know, China will try to come into Taiwan. Actually, I should reach out to my relatives in Taiwan. You guys know that's where I was born, right? Yeah. Anyway, I should reach out and just kind of see what they're thinking. I should do that. But as far as equities go, we're under a little bit of pressure today, as you would expect. We might come back down to the 4,400 level in the S&Ps. I don't think that that's out of the question in this ascending wedge. What probably will happen here is we'll probably dip down towards 4,400. The market will get over itself and say, oh, you know what? Nothing big's going to happen right now. And then the market will rally into new highs, if I had to guess. Obviously, if we get below 43.80, that's where it all, 43.75, that's where it all changes. That's where everything kind of changes. Hey, I wanted to mention to you guys, next week on the 23rd, so that would be in 6 days from now. Wait a second. Yeah, 6 days from now. I am going to interview Lynn Alden. Many of you probably listen to Lynn. If you guys have any questions for her, ask me. If you have any questions that you'd like me to ask Lynn, I'll throw them out there. Jason said, hey, Blake, any thoughts on the dollar Canadian underperformance? Seem to still be struggling a bit if you compare it with the moves in the Aussie and the Kiwi have made. Yeah, like I was saying, that the dollar Canadian, I don't think is performing well. I'm actually not even trading the loonie right now. I have no exposure in the loonie, and that's which is weird, because usually in days like today, I tend to be long the dollar Canadian. That's that's one of the pairs I'm gonna lean into. But I haven't been too comfortable with it. Look, crude's hitting lows right now. Dollar Canadian probably move up to 126.60, I would assume. But is this is it underperforming? It is, and I don't know why. I'm zero clues here. So anyway, yeah. So just some food for thought regarding the Canadian. And like I said, I'm usually targeting the loonie right now, but just I'm not at the moment. And you guys, you probably saw my chart of the day yesterday. This is a big head and shoulder pattern that's developing, but I cannot figure out for the life of me why we're not down here at the neckline right now. Like, why? I mean, this is a 4-hour chart, and we're basically where we're at. We were at yesterday at this time, and with the S&P down, over 1%. How's that even possible? I don't know. So anyway, just kind of those are my thoughts regarding the Canadian at the moment. Volatility up 15%. I guess that that DSI of the VIX being in the single digits last week and going into this week have showed a reversal. Let's see what else. Let's take a look at yields. So yields are down right at this moment in time. And that's weighing a little bit on, the yen pairs. But again, I have to point out that the yen pairs really, they may be, a little oversold here, but they've really moved. They were kind of ahead of the move the last couple of days. So we'll see if they can continue to expand on that, Simon says VIX expiration today, tomorrow. Okay, good point, Simon. Thank you. I know you were trading the VIX, so I'm not familiar with when the expiration was or is. Let's take a look at Nasdaq. Let's see where the Nasdaq's at right now. So Nasdaq, really key support here. Now, let's look at something really fast while we're here at looking at the Nasdaq. You guys do realize at this point the candle was red, right? Oops, hold on. Let me delete that. At this point, the candle was red. At this point, the candle was red. At this point, the candle is also red. Right? So just be careful. I mean, look at the Nasdaq. We're really 1% off of the highs right now. .7% off of the highs. Let's take a look at the Dow. Dow almost hit the 127% extension of the last leg lower, but can we correct from here? Sure. How far are we going to go? I would assume at this point, at that stage in the game right there, people are like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end, right? So, but this looks like the beginning of something that could take us down towards support for sure. Simon says daily candle fun times. Yes, daily candle fun times. Catherine asked Blake, do I have any target for my pound yen long? Here's the thing. I'm going to ask you this, Catherine. What do you think my answer to that question will be? I'm going to ask you because, in my opinion, you're asking the wrong question. No, she said it depends on what else is happening. No, the question that you have to ask yourself whenever you get into a trade is, what's your risk? Jason said it. What's your risk? Look, I know the charts are really oversold. What do you think my risk is here? Risk is below the 618, right? That's where I'm going to get out. Like I'm getting out below 150.15. But my reward will be somewhere up here. And I know my reward, if this is where my entry is at, my reward is either, 1.5, maybe 2, depends, it depends how far it could bounce. But I know we're oversold. So for me, it's just kind of knowing where my risk is at this point. And it's small. It's not anything big. I think it has the opportunity to trade a little bit better than some of these other currencies, because of the nature of the commodity currencies. But anyway, that's what my question is: where am I? What am I risking? And that's like the most important thing to me. I hope that makes sense to you. Let's see. Stocks are weak. They're weak today, which made sense. The Nasdaq DSI yesterday was at 91. I bet you it's going to be at 83 today. Nice, decent correction in daily sentiment index as well. Other than that, Catherine says, thank you. You always keep us sane. You're welcome. Yeah, it's just, you got to ask, where's that risk? One of the things I also want to point out really quick too, dollar Mexican peso. I mean, yeah, we're stronger, but look how we're pushing that 20 level. How's it the dollar Mexican peso can't break out? I'm feeling a little bit like the peso with, I mean, I'm considering taking off my dollar Mexican peso longs and my dollar Norway longs. I mean, dollar Norway looks a little bit better, but it's like, you know, how far do you think that this selling is going to go? I don't know. You know, I would think the dollar Mexican peso should have been trading up at the 200-day moving average already. Simon says daily low today was July high. Check daily DAX. Europe looking for rainbows. That's you know, the DAX had the this was the good hanging man, in my opinion. But yeah, I guess you're talking about this. Yeah, June, July highs holding for now. But I think a lot of that has to a lot of that will depend on how the US equity markets close the day, right? How do they close the day? If they close the day, you know, down at these levels, then the DAX is going to, you know, we're probably going to see down here at the, you know, this trend line support, I'm assuming somewhere down here. Anyway, all right, guys. I hope you guys have a great one. I just got out of my Aussie yen. I got stopped out of the Aussie yen. I was long a little Aussie yen. I mean, these yen positions are really small because I didn't want them to like impede my my P&L like the euro did. The euro took a little bit away. The yen pairs are really small positions. Anyway, I'm gonna roll. You guys have a great one. Thank you, and thanks for all the support. Alex said, hey, hope your kid is okay. Hope he gets better soon. He's great. He went back to school today. He did soccer last night, was a little winded, you know, but it's hot and muggy here. So he'll be fine. All right. You guys have a great one. I'll talk to you soon.